101, take one, C camera. One, B camera. A camera.
Does this make you nervous?
What's that?
Do you like doing these?
No, but it's not my first rodeo.
It's not your first rodeo. How many of these do you think you've done? How many interviews do you think you've done?
Upwards of 100, I imagine. Maybe more.
That's a lot of interviews. Is there any one question? I mean, I've interviewed you before. Is there any one question that you wish people asked you?
That's an interesting question in its own. I guess the one question I feel is rarely asked of me, but also rarely asked of male artists, is how fatherhood has impacted me and my work. And so I always wonder that, because I see interviews of women artists and of my wife, Sherry Hovsepian, and I always see this kind of pivot at some point to how parenthood affected their project, or how the decision to become a parent kind of impacted their thinking, et cetera. And I always wonder, well, I know why, because of sexism. But, I always imagine, because it has been so instrumental in my development as an artist and my growth as a human being, I'm like, that's a question that I think should be asked more often of men.
Of men.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do that. Do you know about the term matrescence? Do you know this term?
I don't.
Okay, so there's a woman, Lucy someone, she wrote a book all about this, and the way that women, or society, right, we look at these phases that women go through: adolescence, menopause. We skip the whole thing that happens in the middle to most women, right? Having kids, and how fundamentally that changes you. And I was talking to an artist about this about 2 weeks ago, because I think you're right. Parenthood generally fundamentally changes the course of people's lives. But we focus on women because I think we need to a little bit.
Yeah, and we, to be fair, and I've recognized this, the process of carrying a child and the actual kind of conditions in terms of how it evolves you physically is something that I think deserves attention and is a valuable space to kind of discuss, human development. I think the psychological kind of changes that happen as a result of parenthood, parenthood and obviously kind of delivery and child rearing are all kind of different positions. And so, but they're all complicated and all interesting. There's been something happening more recently in my thinking, which is this space that I think of as liminal space, and liminality is really at the center of so much of my work and so much of my thinking. This kind of transitional spaces, or spaces in between. But I've been thinking a lot about being in a position where I am a father to a young boy, but my father is alive, and so I am also the son to another man. And that liminal space, that kind of two-ness, the space of being kind of responsible for guiding or helping guide someone through the world, and still being simultaneously guided by someone else, that is such an interesting and complicated space. And it's a space that I'm really grateful to be able to be in, because I do have my father in my life playing the role that he has played, and ideally, will continue to be able to play. But I also, I'm excited by the kind of complexity of that kind of liminal condition.